That's another good topic for us. What do you do with friends and family that you think are marrying wrong? And here's better. Is there anything you can do? All right, I'm going to take your calls on premarital doubts. As soon as you say premarital, people think the noun following will be sex. But that's not what we're discussing. We do on occasion, but now it's premarital doubts. This is the male-female hour on the Dennis Prager Show. Take your calls upon return in a moment.
No cabs to be had out there. I wish I knew. Your eyes are like starlight now. I'll take your hat, your hair looks swell. No. Mind if I'm moving?
All right, it's the male-female hour. And we can continue. It's a big, wonderful, and even somewhat fun, although obviously the repercussions are very serious, subject, where you have David Brooks reporting of a study from the Journal of Family Psychology that says that women who had premarital doubts had significantly higher divorce rates 4 years later, but not men. Men with premarital doubts, it did not correlate at all with a higher incidence of divorce. 1-8-PRAGER-776. Has this been your experience or theory? And again, I would divide the male doubts into two very distinct categories. Doubts about marrying, period, which is very male, and doubts about marrying her, which is not very male. That's specific to her, just as her doubts are specific to him. All right, let's go to Carol in Cleveland. Carol of Cleveland, Dennis Prager, hi.
Hi, Dennis. It's a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you.
My story is basically that I met my husband when I was 23 on a blind date through friends. We were married 4 years later, but I had several doubts leading up to the wedding, and I wanted to postpone it, and he did not want to postpone it. And so I would have rather gone through with the wedding rather than cancel it. I wanted also to go to counseling, but he wasn't really into counseling, so I went on my own. And I ended up working through things with a counselor because my parents had a bad marriage. So he was a really great guy, but I got to the point where I was able to walk down the aisle, but I did break out in hives on my wedding day, and right before we got in the limousine to go to the church, it thunderstormed. It got black as night, and it just thunderstormed. And
well, the hives, I have to admit, the hives are more telling than the thunderstorm. But
I know, it's supposed to be good luck, but...
What, hives?
Then we
Wait a minute. No,
4
thunderstorm is supposed to be good luck, not hives.
I know.
No. This is so interesting. Why... If I were a man and a woman said to me, let's postpone the wedding, my answer would be yes, instantaneously, I think, because I want to believe that she wants it wholeheartedly.
Yes.
How could I attend my own wedding when my wife has told me she basically doesn't want to be there?
Well, I had kind of said, it's not you, it's me, because he came from a good family, and I took all the responsibility. I said,
well, let me ask you another question. Here's another one. Were the doubts that you had, did they turn out to be accurate, or was it other issues?
You know what? It was other issues. I think I had some growing up to do. In some ways, I think if I met him today, with everything that I've gone through, I think I might have appreciated him more today. But in my 20s, I already knew early on in the marriage that if we had kids, I would end up leaving when they were in college because I didn't feel he was my soulmate.
So what? So all right. Guy. So what did happen? You married and divorced how long later?
So we got married, and a year into the marriage, my old feelings started coming back despite counseling, and I was becoming more argumentative with him. I just wasn't happy, and we ended up divorcing. I ended up leaving him, and we divorced about 4 years later.
Are you remarried?
No, that's the problem. No, so then now it's been very hard at my age at this point, finding all this. He's almost like a benchmark. They have to be as good as him, if not better, and it's just been really hard. And
so wait, so you had, so let me put it in an ironic way. You had doubts about marrying, and now you have doubts about divorcing.
Not necessarily, but you do go back and wonder if you did the right thing.
Well, that's called doubt.
Nothing's 100%.
That's the nature of a doubt.
Exactly.
Oh, Carol, I wish you well. Sound like a wonderful woman. That's a bummer. That's another subject. I think we did it once. Do you regret having divorced? And life's complex. Life is messy. It's one of the first mottos I came up with when I started radio 30 years ago. Life is messy.